What's up, gang? It's your boy, buoyant, and today we're at another Tide video. Today we're doing Smoke, and in this video I'm going to teach y'all how to play Smoke, how his kit works, and just some general tips of him. So stay tuned in the video and we'll get straight into it to get you out of those shitter lobbies. Let's do it. Okay, first off, we gotta know this guy's kit. Smoke is a 2-speed, 2 armor. He has access to the M590A1 shotgun and the FMG9 as his primary. As well for his secondaries, he has the P226 MK25 pistol and SMG11. For his secondary gadget, he also got the choice between barbed wire and proximity alarms. Finally, for his primary gadget, he got the gas canister. His best loadout is the M5, SMG11, and barbed wire. His shotgun allows him to create rotate holes, but not mainly for C4s, but rather his primary gadget. As well, the M5 is really strong as he can one-shot enemies from 10 meters away, which is pretty strong. As well, the FMG isn't really the strongest SMG in the game. Other characters have better SMGs, and this one isn't really that good or viable. As well, you also have a secondary SMG, the SMG11, like I said before. So having two SMGs on Smoke is kind of useless, especially the fact that your shotgun is better. So you might as well choose a loadout where you have a SMG11 and a shotgun rather than an FMG and a SMG11. You're not going to get really any use out of both your guns. This is one of the better pistols in the game. It does do a lot of damage, has a good ammo capacity. However, generally, you wouldn't want to use it if you really have one of the best SMGs in the game as a secondary. And it's especially worse if you choose this with the shotgun, so always pick the SMG11. Next is the secondary gadgets. In my opinion, I do believe that the barbed wire is better than the proximity alarms. Mainly because barbed wire slows down enemies, and the whole point of Smoke is to be a character to slow down people. Especially matched up with barbed wire, you can be a pain in the ass for attackers to get into sight and push through. So I do believe that barbed wire would be better with him. The only problem though is that if you have bigger maps than that, you're not going to really be able to hear enemies coming from barbed wire and that half the time. But honestly, it's also a preference if you want to use barbed wire or proximities, as sometimes if you don't place barbed wire right, that you're not getting any value out of it. So honestly, in my opinion, barbed wire is better, but use what you want. Now we get to Smoke's gadget. Smoke's gadget is really strong as he gets 3 charges of the gadget in total. To use this gadget, you can simply use your ability button to throw it, and once thrown, does nothing, but by pressing the ability button again, you can activate it, making it create a gas cloud for 10 seconds. Any attackers and defenders within the gas take 15 damage every 2/3 of a second. However, only 2 characters are immune to the gas, Smoke and Scorbos. These guys don't count though. His gas also has a range of 5 meters diameter, meaning you can cover a lot of space with it. One neat thing about Smoke is he actually counters Finka. Her ability Adrenaline Surge causes her and anyone affected by it to breathe more, and therefore more gas. So whenever any attacker affected by it is in his gas, they take more damage and faster. Now that we got his kit down, we gotta understand how to play Smoke. Generally, with Smoke, we want to play smart with him. Unlike most defenders, you can't really use a gadget at the start of the game, so it's important to stay alive throughout the entire match. Generally, with Smoke, you want to play on sight, or at least hold an extension, but never roam with him. His gadget is mainly supposed to be used for defensive purposes, not really offensive purposes. That's why you can't really kill people as fast with it, especially the fact that as soon as someone enters it, there's a delay before they start taking damage. So his gadget is not really designed to deal damage to people. It's in the sense that, hey, don't stay here, go away. And that's kind of the whole purpose of his gadget. So really, it's not really good for roaming, it's more good for just holding down sight and stopping people from pushing and wasting time. When playing Smoke, it's really important that you play really passive at the start of the round and don't use a gadget at all, or even try to die. A lot of defenders will try to get their gadgets out as soon as the round starts in that, you know, try to get picks or just use its utility at whenever they can before they die. But Smoke, you want to wait for that last 30 seconds of the round. While Goyo and Tachanka can deal more damage and also waste more time, the thing about Smoke is that he removes visibility to attackers and that. Generally with Goyo and Tachanka, if you need a push through the fire, you can run through the fire and you'll only take about half your health if you sprint through it. With Smoke, however, you do take damage, however, you also lose your visibility. Any defender holding that doorway, if there's a smoke on it, basically wins the gunfight all time because it's pretty much being flashbang. So that's one really strong about.
I am my perimeter.
Now my first tip for Smoke is to use him for anti-plant. Smoke is great for anti-plant. Maps like Chalet or Clubhouse where you have an open breach to the objective, he's actually really good for. For example, if attackers get that area, you basically lose that area. You can't really peek in or get anything. You can't run across because you'll just get shot if you try to stop the defuse. So generally a character like Smoke is really good. Unlike Tachanka or Goyo who have limitations to the gadget, Smoke's gadget is really good. When they start planning, just grab your smoke, throw it, and boom, you have a massive area just covered of your smoke cloud. And generally they can either get the plant off, but they'll die for it, or they'll cancel the plant and they'll still be really low HP. So he's one of the best characters for anti-plant, and you don't really have to expose yourself that much because you can just throw it near the area they're planting in that. So yeah, running for anti-plant. For tip 2, play with your smokes. Smoke is immune to his own gas like I said before, but that means you can by using that you can walk in your own smokes and just peek people at the doorways. If they're at a corner or they're at a chokehold, you can throw your smoke, push them away where they'll walk back, and then you just walk through the smoke and just shoot them. A lot of attackers generally don't expect smoke players to do this because they think, oh, that's dangerous, you can't go near it. But then you have players like smoke players just go through them and just shoot them. So yeah, play aggressive with your smokes because there's no downside of being inside your smoke other than poor visibility. But if you know where they are and you can kind of see them, it's an easy shot. So yeah. Your final tip is to use your grenades one after another. When attackers are trying to make their push into side in that, and they have, let's say, 50 seconds left, you can throw your one grenade, then throw another one after that one expires, and keep throwing your final one, so you waste a total of 30 seconds. Attackers trying to get into sight basically can't do anything, because if they try walking through the smoke, they'll either take damage, they'll get blinded, and you can shoot at them. But if they do nothing, then they won't have time to really execute their plan in that. It basically forces the attackers to make mistakes in that, because if they don't have enough time to plant, they probably won't have enough time to kill the entire defending team if you have a few people alive. So it's a great way to just put pressure on the attackers and play off their mistakes in that.
Cease fire, you muppet!
Now that kind of concludes the video for Smoke and that. I really hope you were kind of informed in this video on how to change your playstyle, some tips to Smoke, or just how to generally play Smoke and that. He's a really fun and unique operator compared to all the other area denial operators in that. He's a really good operator. He definitely was one of the best operators. He didn't really fall to time in that. So Smoke is a pretty good operator and you should definitely play him. Out of all the operators in the game, if you put him on tier list, Smoke's like a solid A tier operator. He's really good. He can cancel out so many time, waste so many time for operators and that, get easy kills in that, and his whole kit just works really well. And as a defender, if you play him right, he can be really good in a lot of people's hands in that. And yeah, he's a great operator. Thanks for watching, and I hope I see you next time. Peace.